Hello, my fellow lazy boy lunatics. I'm Mr. Church, and today I'm going to be showing you where I get my junk when I build my camps. And no, it's not from my trunk, despite what you may have heard on the streets. I'm going to show you these locations, but first, let's have a long intro, and then I'll say, let's not waste any time and get right into it. As if we hadn't just done that for 45 minutes. Anyway, now that we're at the first location, finally, after just 25 minutes, you're going to come here to Abandoned Bogtown. Clear out these enemies, and then you'll be able to claim this workshop. This workshop will give you the ability to place down extractors, which will extract concrete over time, which is going to be so good. There's one bag of cement down here, and you're going to come up this way. Now, I do have to warn you, some people down south do pronounce it cement, and a lot of people have told them not to. We've said, please fucking stop it. And they just kept doing it. I think that we shouldn't have used that word before saying stop it, because I think they got confused. And in fact, it only seemed to encourage them more. But as you can see, there's 1.5 billion bags of cement in this room alone, which is quite a bit if you think about it. Each bag of cement will give you 7 concrete. So that's quite a bit. Jump up here while you're at this location because there's a lot of typewriters and fans and phones, and you want to grab all those for like the springs and screws and stuff. After you claim this workshop and complete a spring cleaning event, I guess is what just happened, you can put these concrete extractors down, and like I said before, they're going to extract concrete. You make sure you power them up, of course. If you're not in a private server, I'd also lock them because other players can come and take the stuff out of them. You can find junk location areas around the map where you can place your camp and put an extractor in that spot, but I don't usually like to dictate where I'm building my camp based on the resources I need to build my camp because that feels kind of backwards to me. So I don't bother doing that, but you can, it's an option. I don't include locations for those, but you can find maps of them online if you look it up. If you have this concrete truck from the item shop, that'll also gain you 40 concrete. You can place this in every workshop if you really wanted to, but right at this moment I froze, so I wasn't able to actually come back and collect all the concrete. I had to restart my game. That doesn't happen very often though, guys. This is a smooth game, smooth as butter, almost as smooth as Fallout 4 now that they've updated it and ruined the graphics so I can't play it. This is the next place you go, the steakhouse or some shit. And like I said, it's good to claim that first, so it can start extracting that concrete as you go around and pick up the actually, 2 bags of concrete? No, there's 3, but don't worry. There's actually also another reason why I come here, and it's not the Ushanka hat that you just saw, or the floaters that can come out and kill you in one shot. What you want to do is you want to sneak around the back here, unless you actually like hand-to-hand combat and want to kill the stuff here, which will be a good idea, though, although I don't know why you would want to fight that stuff. If you're putting turrets in your camp, then I would imagine that your gun doesn't work that well. You're going to pick up these garden gnomes. There's a billion of them. They're being weird out in the lawn. I do hate taking the one off his flamingo, but I need it for my camp. Thank you. Come to the monorail elevator. We're going to go up there, which is just outside of render distance. So, make sure you don't fall off that. It does leave a boo-boo in your legs. When you get up here, you're going to find there's one of these. These are concrete, by the way. Did I say that? No, I was ranting about something stupid and unrelated and irrelevant to every single person that's watching. So pick those up as well. They give you 3 concrete a piece. And also, while you're here, make sure you grab these weights because those will give you lead. I don't include lead in this video because you don't need a lot of it for camp building, and the stuff you get here is probably good enough. Whenever you run low, and if you need lead for making ammo and whatnot, you can probably look that up. There's videos on it, but basically you're going to want to go to somewhere else. Now go to Site Charlie. It's near Foundation. This one, I don't know. I guess people do probably come here and get the concrete, but I never see them doing it, and I spend a lot of time here. I don't, actually. This is like the first time I came here in about 3 years, but over here you're going to find a lot of cement, okay? There's so many I can't even count. Well, there's 8 bags. That's a lot still. Sometimes this one will fall through the map, so I try to pick it up first, just the little quirks we live with, and it's fine, normal. Then I'm going to go from there over to Monongah Power Substation MZ, whatever the rest of the fuck it is. I actually built a camp in this location a while back, and I'm going to include the tutorial for that if you want to check it out. You can actually hook power up to this thing, and it'll power your camp. It's pretty cool. Anyway, there's 4 bags of cement here, and also Giddy Up Buttercup is in there for me only. You don't get it. Run over this way, and there's going to be the Blue Ridge Caravan area, and they have this sugar, which is so yummy, and then also 2 bags of cement as well. So you can swing by, grab that. So altogether, this location is about 6 bags of cement. Then you're going to not worry about the last death area that you see on the map there. That didn't happen. Come to this Hornwright, whatever it was. I was too busy lying about not dying to read it, so that's going to be good for the video. Run over this way, and there's a whole lot of, well... yeah, there's a drunkard, I guess. And then also a lot of garden gnomes. Because he's a drunk, there's also a lot of empty bottles which you can pick up while you're here for the glass. I'm going to include other glass spots later on, but make sure you grab them while you're here. You might as well. There's 3 garden gnomes in this van. That's normal. Don't worry about that. If let's get out of here quickly. Over here, there's actually 4 garden gnomes. And you're going to see me pick up 3 of them. You're not going to see me pick up the 4th one because I didn't actually see it. I see it in the footage now. See that broken guy? Well, I'm blind, okay? I'm legally blind. Kind of want a cemetery. You're going to come here. And you're just going to run this way across the area. Jump over this shed. I'm sure you want to do it. Shoot this grave. Desecrate it if you will. And then you're going to come into this shed, and there's 5 concrete bags here. There's also some bags of fertilizer, which you can pick up if you need the acid. And there's some around in a wheelbarrow outside. Now come to New River Gorge Bridge East, which that just rolls off the tongue. Don't shoot that guy. He's just chilling. And instead, turn and run across the bridge. Now you can actually shoot bad guys as you go as well, so they don't kill you. I recommend that. Use the bullets in the gun, shoot it, and then they die. You can use VATS as well if you can't aim because the bugs fly around too much, and that's really helpful for me, I've found. Anyway, this was just a long run across here, so I had to think of something to say in the meantime, and wow, we came up with a real humdinger there. Anyway, there's this guy, and he has like a lot of, well, bullets and food, I guess. I don't know what he's doing here. To be honest, what's the flag? Anyway, he's got 3 bags of concrete for, I don't know, no reason, I guess. Somerville Docks. What a place to go and spend time with a family and also get shot by Scorched. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, as you come along down here, there's rats that will bite you sometimes, but you can't get rabies that bad. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Pick up their 1 bullet they drop, because that's worth stopping everything you're doing for. Then come through this shed instead of going around the back way, which would have been faster, and pick up these 4 bags of cement. Shout out to Vapid Valentine for reminding me of that spot. Clancy Manor, this place has a lot of like cultists and stuff, so if you like are missing your old Baptist church you went to, this is a good place to go. You can sing songs and hymns, and also the blood sacrifices. There's also 5 bags of cement, which you can use to build your camp. And while you're here, you might as well stop at Wavy Willards Park for these 2 bags of cement. Actually, don't bother. That's not worth your time. But it is out by the pool if you do want to do that. I mean, it's a great place to bring the kids. Poseidon Energy Plant .WOC has suffered a critical failure. Hazmat teams are en route. I don't know. Just don't listen to that. It's hurting my heart. Anyway, we have 1 bag here, and then sometimes there's 2 bags on this pallet, and then there's 1 bag here. And then if you go and look at that guy, then turn around and turn in a circle like this, and then go back this way, then you'll find that there's 1 bag here as well. Worth it. Another spot is Beckwith Farm. Now this place is at the end of one of the special little guide the cow events, and pick up these bags of cement. Settlers Ridge also has 2 bags, but it also has annoying NPCs that you unfortunately can't kill. Let's see how much we got from that. 67 bags of cement. I didn't get them all, and with the new update coming soon, there's actually a couple more spots in the new area. 532 concrete is what we achieved from that. And again, I wasn't even able to pick up the concrete from the extractors. Let's move on to wood though. I know you guys are really itching to see where I get all this wood from. Make sure you put on woodchucker perk before you do this, because this will let you get twice as much wood, and I know you guys need as much wood as possible. That's why you guys keep asking for the OnlyFans link, which of course I can't give you yet. Over here at Gilman Lumber Mill, you're going to find 1.7 thousand billion chillion wood, and also these protectrons, if you spam interact with them, will give you wood once per server human thing. And there's a lot of wood around here, so just pick it all up and get the wood from these guys. They don't need it. Like, what do you actually need that for? You know what I mean? Anyway, get the wood, the logs, the things, but all in this area, in fact, all through the forest, but especially around this area, there's a ton of wood. So just run around collecting it. Also, Helvetia, this place, also a great place to get a load of wood real quick. Unfortunately, I picked it all up, and then I realized I wasn't recording. So that's why I'm not looting this right now, but all this can be looted, and I already picked the logs up for it. So that's that. Sylvie and Sons Logging Camp, which is has these nice little puppies at it that are harmless and don't hurt you at all because they're dead. Anyway, there's piles of logs all outside these tents, and oh boy is it fun. You can really break your controller getting these things, but it's good, it's fun, and we get so much logs. I want to remind you guys that there's logs everywhere though, in every biome, but there's a ton in the Savage Divide and the forest. So if this amount of wood from these spots that I'm about to show you isn't enough, there's infinite amounts. Prickets Fort is the last like big heap of wood that you can get. So you're gonna run up here at Mach speed, and then you're gonna come up these stairs for no reason, jump off, go through this house, turn in a circle, and then there you go, wood, just where you always wanted. Now if you don't do the rotation and spinning thing and up the stairs, there's not as much logs here when you turn around. It's like a little ritual you can do, and it'll make more logs be here. And if you believe me and start spinning around, that would just make me so happy. Anyway, you're going to come back down here, and there is this little shelter thing where there's a few logs here. There's some in the fireplace that I didn't just pick up. And then there's another pile here and a hacksaw, which I did pick up as well. There's a lot of logs here that you can grab. And so just do that. And with a woodchucker on, you're sometimes getting 12 logs for each thing that you select, which is pretty yummy in my opinion. Now, the last place that I recommend getting wood is in the Toxic Valley. However, I wouldn't recommend this if you do have the woodchucker perk, because this isn't actually helpful unless you don't have the woodchucker perk yet. But anyway, in the Toxic Valley, there's these weird trees here called bleached dogwood, and you can pick them, and it'll give you 1, 2, sometimes 3 pieces of dogwood. And the bleached dogwood, when you scrap it, gives you, I think it's 4 wood per piece. However, woodchucker does not work on it. So while this is faster than harvesting logs, if you don't have that woodchucker ability, it's slower if you can just put on woodchucker and pick up logs elsewhere. So this is a little thing. Not a lot of people do this, but as you can see, from just 16 dogwood, we're gonna get like 40 pieces of wood, which isn't bad at all, considering I just spent 12 seconds. See, that's 48. Actually, 48 is what the math means. But to look at how much wood we just got from all those spots, I'm going to first shoot this legendary erratic radstag doe, because I think that'll make the video better. So just from going from the Gilman Lumber Mill, Helvetia, Sylvie and Sons, and then the little bit I did in here, Prickets Fort, those 4 spots, I got 1,800 wood from that. That's a lot of wood. You're not going to use that very quickly, but if you do, you can literally hop servers and reset your loot pool and get it again. You can also place these in your camp. They collect wood over time. By the way, I'll explain the loot pool thing in a moment. This is sometimes maybe maybe going to be in the item shop one day. I don't know. But you can place these at every workshop as well, like where you place the concrete. And that'll also be collecting wood. Let's talk about steel. Steel, there's shit everywhere that gives you steel. So I'm not going to show you locations where you can loot that stuff, because you can pick it up if you're just looting. But another way that you can get lots of steel is with treasure maps. So I wait till I have like 20 or 30. I go to the spot, and you can look up the location if you need, or you can look at it with your eyes and use those 7,000 hours you've put into the game to find the spot yourself. That's what I do. And I take pride in that. I take pride and not humiliation. Then you're just going to dig that one spot. You're going to get a bunch of plans you probably don't know. You're going to get a little bit of ammo, a little bit of junk, a little bit of aid. And you're going to get a lot of weapons and a lot of armor. When you get all that stuff, you can scrap it down. But before you do, this is the very important step. You're going to go into your perks, and you're going to make sure you have this perk equipped, Scrapper. Obtain more components when you scrap weapons and armor. So, in fact, I usually run with this on all the time. So I'm just getting a lot of passive steel all the time from scrapping down weapons and armor whenever I do. I'm also going to put on Curator to make my magazines last longer, because I'm also going to be running a magazine. This part isn't necessary, it just adds a little bit more to your yield. But basically, Guns and Bullets 5 makes you get more components when you scrap down weapons, and that does stack with Scrapper. The result is, as you can see in the effects, more scrap from weapons. Good, yum! Now you're going to come in here, and as you can see, we're getting 1 billion steel and a little bit of wood for all these. 30 steel from one assault rifle, for example. The high-speed minigun, 40 steel. And you're just going to break this down. And that, yes, I did just destroy my alien blaster. I'll make a new one. Don't worry about it. That's going to also unlock a lot of mods for you. So it's a good thing to do early game. I don't recommend going and buying treasure maps. Just wait till you have some built up, and then do this, and you'll get I got 565 steel from just 20 maps. So, you find maps as you go. Sometimes people put them in their vendors for cheap. Just build them up till you have a stack of them, and then you can go to that one spot, spam click, come over, scrap. You'll get a bunch of plans, that some of them you can sell. You'll get a bunch of junk components, and especially you'll learn a lot of mods, and you'll get a lot of steel. So another place that you want to use Scrapper is after you do eviction notice at Foundation Outpost, which this is a public event that'll happen. There's a lot of super mutants there, and destroying all their weapons afterwards will give you so much steel. Anywhere that has super mutants, so Huntersville, West Tech, even the guys at Emmett Mountain Disposal Site, they drop a lot of weapons and armor. Blood Eagles also give you a lot of good weapons and armor. I just clear out West Tech right now, and just from one pass of West Tech, I just came through, killed them, looted them all, and I have Scrapper equipped, and I still have Guns and Bullets 5 going, as you can see. And I'm going to scrap down just their weapons and armor and see what I get from that in steel, because I want to show you how powerful this Scrapper and Guns and Bullets combo is. And again, you don't need Guns and Bullets. You'll still get a shitload of steel. So as you can see, super mutants don't really drop armor. I haven't scrapped any of my junk, so any of the steel I'm about to show you is not from anything I picked up in here, except for the weapons. I have 947 steel, so almost 1,000 steel from one pass of West Tech. And another thing that's nice about super mutants is they drop a lot of laser rifles. And laser rifles, when you scrap them down, especially with Scrapper on, will give you a lot of plastic. So if you can see in my little junk area, molded plastic 119. Plastic, you use it when you're building. You don't use it as much, but you do need it. So that's why it's really good to kill things that use laser rifles when you need steel and plastic. And like I said before, Blood Eagles are another good target for getting that plastic as well, because a lot of them use laser rifles. Any place where you go, by the way, while you're doing this, you're also going to want to be picking up every junk you see, obviously. That's just a given. And then you're going to want to, just scrap everything down once you have Scrapper running. And at this point in time, I don't think that I had Guns and Bullets 5 going anymore. But it's still a good amount of steel that I'll be able to get. And area looting does make that so much faster. You also get some good ammo. Now that I've slaughtered everybody here, also pick up all the junk. You'll get some glass. You'll get some plastic. As you can see, I'm just going to scrap everything. These guys didn't actually have as many laser rifles as some of them do. But just from these little guys here, I was able to get 43 plastic, which is not a bad amount. If you need more plastic, go to either high school. This is Watoga High School. And there's all these plastic utensils and plates and cups, and those are everywhere. And there's other stuff too that gives plastic in here, but this is like the main way. There's also a library in here that has books in it you could pick up for some cloth, but I'll go into cloth in a little bit. But this is a great place to build up cloth, glass, and especially plastic. Morgantown High School is the other one that you can get plastic at. So if you don't have Fallout First, you actually need plastic to bulk items, and some junk, when it's bulked, weighs less. So you want to look up and see, what stuff you want to be bulking, what stuff you don't, because that'll help you save space in your stash box if you need to store your junk in your stash box. So that's why plastic can be important, even outside of camp building. But you do use plastic in building. So Morgantown High School is a little bit different because the way that you get plastic in here is mostly from these plastic pumpkins, and there's also a lot of golf balls, and there's toys and stuff. I know I just passed a bunch. I just want to show you. You want to make sure you do find the gym and loot the gym, because the gym has a lot of stuff in here, including but not limited to moronic scorched shooting me when I'm trying to pick up plastic pumpkin things. Yeah. But as you can see, there's also golf balls. Those give you some rubber and cork, I believe, as well. But they give you plastic. And there's, as you can see, just 1.5 billion of those in here. The Scorched in Morgantown also are going to give you, a decent amount of steel, just because they're dropping you weapons and stuff. Which, is also a nice little bonus there. This guy can dish it out, but he can't take it. Another place that I go for cloth, as I mentioned before, is right here at this place that I forgot what it was called immediately. Anyway, when you come to Summersville, that's what it's called, this house is called the Book House. And people will use this to reset their loot table. And what that means is, well, first of all, there's a billion books in here. And these all give you cloth. So the way that looting works in this game is you can't just loot something and then hop servers and that item will be back, because you could abuse that really easily. Instead, you will have a list of items that the game remembers you looting, but it only remembers the last 250 items, which means after you loot an area, if you then pick up 250 of the same item, or 250 of any item, it will push that loot pool down. So the other stuff that you were looting will now be available when you hop servers. So if you loot all the books in here, there is a lot of books. Look, there's 124 burnt books, 167, and you'll get 298 cloth. That's enough to reset your loot table. So after you loot this place, you can hop servers, and everything you looted in the server, including all the concrete bags, are going to reset for you. If you still need cloth, by the way, which I don't know why you would, Tyler County Fairgrounds has 130 pieces of junk that are cloth sitting around. It's all the litter. So basically, this is exactly how you would expect the apocalypse to look like. Hot dog trays and pizza. That's exactly the way that we brought about the end of the world. Carbohydrates. Anyway, Morgantown Airport is another way you can get a bunch of cloth really quickly. because there's an event over here that's called Collision Course, and it pretty much spawns, or like it starts anytime you come near it. And at the end of it, you'll get a box that has 100 pre-war money in it, and that scraps down to 100 cloth. And the nice thing about it is, if you go to a server that someone's already done this in, and that box is sitting there, you can sometimes loot it and pick up that 100 cloth. So you can just come by here, see if the box is there, pick up the cloth, and leave. Like, you don't even have to do the event. But if you do have to do the event, it's super quick. Like, you can do this in like a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and then it takes another minute to wait for the stupid thing to land, which I'll show you. I sped this up to like 8 times the speed, and as you can see, there it's flying in with a box with the money, and I sped it up. I was waiting here for like 45 minutes. Like, what the fuck? Genuinely, what the fuck? Anyway, this will drop it, and one day when we're old and gray, and then as you can see, you come over here, and there's always a little bit of aid, a little bit of food, and there's always 101 money. Wow, they're upping the amount they're paying us now. Anyway, you can pick everything up, even if it's the money's heavy and will make you overweight, because you can just scrap it over here. 101 cloth just from that. Super easy, and as you can see, 101 raw cloth. If you still need cloth, White Springs is a great place to go, and you'll also be able to get some glass, and you'll also be able to get ceramic, because there's a lot of vases here as well as a lot of garbage like we just picked up at Tyler County. But speaking of ceramic, you can also go to Frank's Butthole House. What was that called? I forgot to look on the map. Anyway, this guy is kind of like a cook, but like in the Jesse Pinkman, Walter White kind of cooking, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, this guy never does the dishes. And what that means is they kind of heap up in, you know what it's like. We don't need to talk about your room right now. Anyway, as you can see, no one wants to do the dishes, so they just pile up in here, and these all give you ceramic when you scrap them down. Again, Vapid Valentine reminded me of this location for these things. By the way, Vapid Valentine makes really cool camp videos that you should check out on her channel, which I'm going to link in the description. After we're done looting that, get everything. Kill everybody, get everything. 113 ceramic, just because they didn't do the dishes. There's also, 80 cloth, 30 lead, lots of plastic, lots of steel. You're going to want to just pick up everything whenever you're looting, scrap it down, and then put it in your stash box or your scrap box if you have it. Oh, by the way, this is 295 steel just from killing those guys and breaking their stuff down with scrapper on. If you ever need aluminum, rubber, or copper, I recommend destroying all of the mole miners you see, because the breathers and the mine suit filters drop aluminum and copper. They also have these miner suit scraps, which drop black titanium gears, which you might need. In fact, just take everything they own. Take their stuff. Take their houses and their homes. Oh, it's sheepsquatch. Another place where you can get different kinds of junk is with these collectrons, which you can place at your camp. You can also place these in workshops when you're placing the concrete extractors and the wood extractors and stuff like that. And these will let you set them to collect whatever you want out of a selection depending on what kinds of collectrons you own. So for example, I own each of these kinds of collectrons, so I'm able to program any of them to do any of those things, and whenever you get a new one, it'll add that option to all your collectrons to set it to do. I don't know if any of those words made sense, but don't worry about it. You can only place one in your camp at a time, but as you can see, there's all different kinds, and they all give you slightly different stuff. But the basic one will give you just random junk, and then there's some that give you like better junk, like this one gives you like junkyard stuff, which is like, hubcaps and gears and aluminum, stuff like that. It's really good. But anyway, you can set these up in your camp, and the collectron one guy will pick it up and collect it over time. And as I said, you can place these down in every workshop you own, so you can have a lot of them collecting at once. I recommend doing that in a private server if you're going to farm for a long time, but keep in mind if you crash, it's gone forever. Anyway, it'll be back here. You can lock it so other people can't take your stuff, and they can also just pick the lock, and then they're wanted, and they're level 80 working on their camp, and they don't notice me sneaking in with a baseball bat, and then they're... Well, anyway, this guy takes about a week and a half, so I'm going to speed it up and listen to some music. And now that he's in there, he obviously didn't find anything. Like I've been mentioning, you can go to any of these workshops, and they all have extractor spots, well, all but a couple, and you can build those extractors, power them up, and they all provide you with specific things depending on what you need. And they do, oh wow, bone shards. That's glad we got that. You know, this is I'm selling this so well. You should get these guys. They'll give you bone shards, which you need to build in your camps, I guess. You can also build these tree sap collectors, which collect adhesive. If you need more help with adhesive, you can literally look anywhere for how to make the farm to make adhesive. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons and channel members for your support. I really do appreciate it so much. If you're interested in joining me on Patreon, the link for that is in the description. Join the Discord, that's in the description. And I stream on Twitch, and guess where that is? It's in the description. You know, I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know.